We cracked the Blood Necromancer code and it's beyond funny. Goodbye, Holy Trinity of the Church. Get clapped. Right now we're level 70 and there's two things that drastically changed at level 67 that allowed us to become this hilariously powerful. Skill breakdown, itemization and aspects, gameplay loop example, Paragon board at the very end, timestamps in the description below. Also, if you have any feedback, I read all the comments. We're starting with Hemorrhage, and yes, we keep that over Reap because we want Hemorrhage to be able to fortify us a wee bit. Also, if you're looking for the 1 to 50 breakdown for every single point at every single level, link in the description below. Then Blood Surge is our main damage dealer together with Enhanced Blood Surge and Paranormal Blood Surge to stack it up to have the safe overpower and the 6th attack. And yes, we're actually using Unliving Energy for bonus essence on top with Imperfectly Balanced to get even more damage. Keep in mind that not everything works together with overpower damage, but you're not only overpowering the whole time. Also, don't worry about the bonus essence cost. We have the items to take care of that. Blood Mist may have as many points as possible. Right now I have only 1 in because I didn't have anything to spare, and then 3 from the items to get the cooldown lower. That being said, the cooldown gets lower anyways by overpower reduces the cooldown, and then you choose the fortify over the corpse generation because we're not interacting with corpses at all with this build, apart from using them for more damage. Then spiked armor gives you some thorns, and yes, it's actually worth it to have 600 thorns because everyone that hits you gets 600 damage. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is there, and we'll actually be wearing a thorn armor as soon as we had level 74. That would be the Razor Blade for 10,000 thorns. Now, we do use Iron Maiden over Decrepify, mainly to actually gain essence as we're cursing enemies, but also to have them take more damage as they actually hit us, and that's another 1,000 damage. So with the thorns together, we're already at 1,600 damage as people actually hit us, on top of the actual damage we deal. Then we take less damage and deal more damage to people close to us. And on top of that, we deal more damage to distant enemies, which is quite funny. And then we amplify our damage by another 9% on top of that with Cheese and Cream. You notice everything is working quite well. Plus, you want to have the most amount of healing possible because you always want to stay healthy or your overpower shenanigans don't work. Because while healthy, your blood skills deal 24% increased damage, and your blood skills deal 15% increased overpower damage. This bonus is doubled while you're healthy. Keep in mind, there's often amulets that can hire Tides of Blood or Coalesced Blood. Tides of Blood hiring is usually the more efficient one. Drain Vitality, 100% what you want. Lucky Hit, hitting enemies with blood skills has up to a 25% chance to fortify you for 8% base life. Super good that your Blood Surge essentially can fortify you as well. Then we're using Corpse Tendrils, and the Corpse Tendrils are glowing the enemies, and then they're making blood orbs. Vulnerable does actually not work together with Overpower. It does not seem to stack the way it should. And again, if you already have 1,000 overpower damage plus, you don't need the 20% from Vulnerable. We're boosting our Golem because yes, to this point, we're still using the Golem for a flat damage reduction. We actually changed the Paragon board in the Book of the Dead over to your Blood Golem absorbs 15% damage you would take. And that works fantastically fine and keeps you alive even more. At some point, and that was around level 60, I noticed I don't need the damage of the Golem anymore. From 1 to 50, the damage is nice, but afterwards, you actually don't need it. You'd rather take the damage reduction. Skeletal Mages are obviously sacrificed for overpower damage, while Skeletal Warriors are sacrificed for 17% non-physical resistance, but you can no longer raise Skeletal Warriors. Technically, you could also increase your critical strike chance or your shadow damage, but none of these is really useful for what we're doing here. Last but not least, 3 points in standalone, and most important, 3 points in Memento Mori, because that hires your sacrificial bonus by another 60%. And then finally, Rathamus Vigor for after 15 seconds being able to overpower. Very important with Memento Mori is that the whole effect of Memento Mori is multiplicative. Right now, we have an overpower of 1,158. Yes, 1,158 on level 17. And that's because of one item we found. But if we actually put this off, you notice how heavily multiplicative that is. 575 only. Yeah, what? Yes, one. Hire it again. Memento Mori boosting it. Everything working. Bangarang. Here we are. Especially on top of that, on your gloves, I'm running your sacrifice bonuses are increased by 15%. That could be 25 to multiplicative, make this even more mental. Now, I do put a lot of points in Blood Surge because your Blood Surge, again, does damage also with Overpower. So it doesn't hurt to have your Blood Surge in general do damage, as you can just destroy enemies even without overpowering a single time. The number one other aspect I'm using is Blood Surge Nova echoes again after short delay, dealing 30% less damage. Now, a lot of people would like to have some other on this, but for me personally, this has worked out the best, simply because the bonus Blood Surge overpowers as well, and that bonus Blood Surge short delay overpower gets obviously boosted. So if I do 100k overpower, the following Blood Surge Nova that comes out does 30% less. It just works plenty fine, and it's a staple that always works. There's a world where you could put the Corpse Tendrils does crit on, but realistically, again, you need to do Corpse Tendrils before that actually works, and I prefer my Overpower Blood Surge Echo to always do that, especially as you're using the Death Speaker's Pendant to have our Blood Surge cast a mini Nova on our minions as well, and that Blood Surge actually Nova minion mini thingy echoes out afterwards as well. Interestingly enough, with this Blood Surge, it does scale from the base damage here times your 1000%. So it's a little bit limited in the damage you can deal, but it's still a fantastic bonus, especially since you're getting Cold Assist Blood here, 40% overpower damage, blood skill damage, and well, summoning skill damage. It's not a bad pendant. If you don't have that though, you can actually, for example, put the sacrifice bonus on your amulet to have that supercharge even more. Now, the fun part is you don't actually need more aspects to make that work. The one item you need is Mother's Embrace, and you get that for finishing the campaign, and you do really want Mother's Embrace. You can find the ring, but honestly, I've not found a single iteration of this one after the campaign. Maybe if you're lucky, you're going to find a higher item power one. More important is that if a core skill hits 5 or more enemies, 40% of the resource is refunded, so we don't worry about higher essence cost, because we refund everything anyways. And then the rest is a complete free to go. You could be doing some Bone Storm shenanigans, your Golem gets thorns, your thorns get spread or whatsoever. I have becoming injured while crowd control grants you unstoppable, so I'm never stuck, and that's one problem with the Necromancers. Sometimes you're just stuck. I get more armor, so I don't lose that much HP and I can always stay healthy. This chest currently has basic skills grant 20% damage reduction. That sounds so weird, but it's actually that my chest doesn't matter at all, since we're going to replace it through the Razor Plate on level 70. And that's why I don't really mind my chest aspect and try to min-max there, since we're going to get something anyways. And then last but not least, for the helmet, when hit while not healthy, a magical bubble is summoned. And that one is so good because in many situations you are waiting for the last 1 or 2 Rasmus Vigor ticks, and they bang you down below the healthy. Rasmus Vigor stops ticking, and then you try to heal and they bang you down. And this bubble has saved me more than numerous times in situations where I dive into complete overpowered gigantic elite mob bosses and whatsoever, and then bubble, survival, boost, destruction. It is way underestimated and does a decent good job. But what did actually drastically change? That's my weapon, 800 item power, level 65. How did I find this? Helltide area mystery chest. That's where you're absolutely going to get your big banger items. You go to the Helltide area, you open D4 planner, it shows you the position of where potentially mystery chests could be. Then you get 2, 3, or 4 mystery chests per Helltide because they reset every hour, and they also randomly reset after taken. And then you have the chance to get something like this that has 108% overpower damage, some basic skill damage, kind of useless, damage to close enemies, nice, and 84 to all stats, absolutely amazing to unlock your further Paragon nodes. Let's do a tier 27, that's monsters 11 levels higher, not efficient for experience, but I want to show you how fast you can just weasel your way through. Most important when you're looking at stats for your items, it's going to be max life and overpower damage. These are the 2 things you want to look for. Then we can always go for some defensive stats and what's not, but the overpower and the life, that's where your damage scales with. Now blood search them, Iron Maiden to get my resource back, get healthy, and eat them up. Free the poor prisoners. Use, yes, Blood Mist as a nice little damage staple, which always gets forgotten for some reason, that it can actually be absolutely nasty. Don't forget that you need to be healthy to get your vigor up. And then you can always, you know, just get everything destroyed. I don't know why there's so few elites there. Let's stun them. Get some essence. And here, first time I actually need to regain some essence. That's fine. Blood mist to get out of it. 1, 2, 3, and everyone is dead. Apart from you, Mr. Suppressor. Oh, you know, let's corpse tendril you. Ow. Luckily, we have a gazillion HP. Destroy the I ward. That one can always be a little bit tricky, especially when they bite you. Here's my beautiful overpower madness. Stop stunning me, so I don't have to corpse tendril you. I mean, I will corpse tendril you. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Blood mist to get out of this. And there was my healthy bubble in between. Oh, these stunners. These stunners. Let's pull them all together. More problem is like the poison they're doing. So let's soak our essence full here. And then 1, 2, corpse them. 3, blood mist for absolutely incredible damage, right? And heal. Not really an issue to get this done. Just a little bit, you know, making sure that you're healthy enough to get the things going. Oh, hello there. 1, 2, 3. Blow them apart. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Get a blood mist there. You could have been even more efficient, but obviously without blood mist, you know, I was relying on brute force. Oh, that's a single opponent here now. Now we can go down. That's 15 now up. So we could do this. I mean, it's like, you know, it's a huge chunk of damage as you've seen there. But generally, see that we get blood mist up. Wait. You know, wait a little bit. 13, 14, 15. And now if we do blood mist. Both work, right? both are quite fantastic. Oh, that is what's up. Make sure to get to, there's the healthy bubble, by the way, and that allows me to just literally spam them dead now. Because with a healthy bubble, you make sure that they can't get you out of your, like, overpower madness. And you're safe to go. Oh, and by the way, the overpower has a 3% chance. So sometimes when you just randomly use your blood mist, you might as well overpower too. See, now I'm missing my bubble here, and I get double stunned, triple stunned, and I died. The problem about using blood mist is that if these snakes stun you, you might get to the point where, you know, they kill you with their attacks. But that's why we have corpse tendrils, because if you want to play it safe against these, you can always just wait for corpse tendrils to be up, corpse tendrils them, then you go in, you know, hurt him, because it can be annoying. I mean, your golem is a good helper here. Just give you a bonus. Again, blood mist up. Just give big damage to all of them. Nuke him. Corpse tendrils. Fun part is corpse tendrils actually doesn't use up the corpses. So you can like use corpse tendrils as much as you want. And there's like no limit to it. So you can just keep using corpse tendrils on the corpse as long as the corpse is there to keep continuously hurting your opponent. And the final clear, I mean, the only thing I regret is not being able to show you a boss here, I guess. Because of, I think there is no boss in this one. Actually not sure. Ow, stop spitting in my eye. And we're doing, oh no, there's a boss. No, oh no, there's another I ward. I thought we had all I wards destroyed. Are you okay there, sir? Corpse tendril him. Oh, you wanted to stun me. Admit it. Admit it. We ain't having that. Hello, snakes. Corpse tendrils. Very good. Corpse tendrils are just such a fun ability. Doing so nice. We don't like that stun. Don't forget to use your Iron Maiden in between to refill your essence, because you notice how I'm very rarely in very few cases actually using my essence replenishment, because you can just get that all back with, oh shit, corpse tendrils. You can just get that back with other shenanigans and don't really need to even remotely consider using anything else. And how did you heal yourself? Oh, you get reset as I went into the blood mist. Ah. Now you're forcing me to go through the loops and hoops again of killing you there. This is always so weird when there's like one left. Now I haven't 100% decided what glyph I really want to have next, but I gotta say that I'm considering to get blood orbs fortify you for 7% of your maximum life, which is kind of nice, and grants 30% to all magic nodes within range. That could work, especially because I make quite some blood orbs, and if I walk over, I get bonus fortify, and bonus fortify is more overpower damage. Might be cool. Now let's talk Paragon points, and for some reason I dropped a unique item. Now Paragon board is quite simple. What you want to have is maximum life nodes, because the more maximum life you have, the more damage you can do with overpower, the more you can be fortified, and the more damage you can do with overpower. So I'm gonna tap into both of these at the beginning, and my first glyph I've been using is the Gravekeeper glyph. That boosts my 2 nodes, but at the same time, I get 2% increased damage up to 12% for every close corpse. And since we're not interacting with corpses at all, there's always corpses close by that essentially boost my damage. Then we have the bonus damage node in intelligence, bonus armor node in intelligence, which both get boosted by this by 100%. So that's kind of nice. And we make our way up here in the Bloodbath board, because attacks that are guaranteed to overpower deal 50x increased overpower damage, and that's a safe call. So you're going to straight up just rush your way up to this one for the maximum damage. Cool is 20% damage while fortified if you get to that point, but realistically you want to take the max life, and yes, we want to take the max life here as well, but I didn't have 3 points to offer because we're going to rush over to the right side to get 25% damage while healthy, but also 30% overpower damage, and then overpower damage and overpower damage and overpower damage and damage while healthy. Yes, you will want to take the 20% damage while fortified and fortified generation bonus, and there's fortified generation. This is amazing. You want that. You also want the bonus healing received, and you want damage while fortified with more intelligence as well, because this literally doesn't hurt to have. And here's another glyph socket to put something in. But realistically, we wanted to rush all the way over to the next board, and that's the Blood Begets board, where every blood orb you pick up increases your damage multiplicative by up to 15%. That's nice, but more like a little bit plaything. Realistically, what you want is, again, here, the 60% overpowered damage node with more overpower damage, more overpower damage, more overpower damage. And then here you have life regenerated while not damaged recently. That will not do anything for you, but there's another maximum life and blood orb healing increased. That can be cool, but you want the maximum life more or less. And there's bonus damage when picking up an orb. And there's also, again, more blood orb healing to be able to just continuously keep you healthy as you're getting 10% bonus damage after picking up a blood orb and another 12.5% while being healthy. Realistically, you just want to have the Blood Begets here and technically the Moa life. And then you're going to probably be clapping this glyph socket. What would be a next board to take? I'm not entirely sure. You could be taking the Golem board. The problem is the Golem board has no way to actually hire your life. And that's, you want boards that have another interesting max life adding. And there's actually the Bonegraph board, which gives max life and 100 armor. But in order to reach that, where is it? That would be max life and 100 armor. You could just open up the board next to it again to just essentially go for this node, because that's max life, armor, max life, armor, max life. It's perfect, especially since it gets another 4% max life as you actually tap into it. So this is a total of 8% max life for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just 9 Paragon points as you're able to connect the boards. The other ones you're not really looking for. There's nothing that helps you, and obviously the Bonegraph not, but alone this huge boost in max life is quite amazing for your character. Yes, I'll be playing this on my Summoner to level 80 and 90 and continuously give you updates to show you that this keeps being viable and can do higher nightmares. Keep in mind, it's cool to do Nightmare 50 early, but realistically, you want to stay in the 3 to 4 level range, because that is where you just gain the most XP. Higher nightmares don't get you better loot and don't make you level faster end of the day. If you're looking more for a Summoner Necromancer endgame build, or you missed some of these tips, check one of these videos, and thanks for watching so far.